in the Eastern Conference to the next, the Toronto Raptors, a big part of their puzzle, getting DeMar DeRozan back there on a max contract, and they have done so, agreeing with DeRozan in a deal worth about $139 million over the next 5 years. What does this do to their chances in coming out of the East next season?
You know, for them is no DeRozan. This puts the Toronto Raptors in a situation right now is where you can't retain a guy that's been there, and then how can you attract other stars to come there? And then no DeRozan, as you can see with his backcourt mate in Kyle Lowry. I think this team is clawing, scratching even chance to get in the playoffs where they were the second seed. Now with DeRozan, you maybe lose Biyombo, but you can add to this core right now. You have the backcourt in place. They just have to find some wing guys.
I love, though, what he posted. Kyle Lowry, the all-star point guard, saying, hashtag dinner is never, ever on me again. Hashtag I already charged all my bills to your card. Wow, congrats. I love it. Andre Drummond, also an all-star now, reportedly agreeing with the Detroit Pistons. And we talk about pieces important to keeping these Eastern Conference contenders in place. Drummond nearing an agreement on a 5-year max contract to return in the range of about $130 million. This now a playoff team, a team that did come into that Cavs playoff run with a lot of confidence. At least it did, of course, end up in a sweep against the reigning champions, but a hugely important piece to what they're trying to do in Detroit.
Totally, Kristen. Even though, like you said, they got swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we see his numbers, and obviously the rebounds for me is unbelievable. A guy is averaging more rebounds than a lot of guys are averaging points, and then he can get better, and he's so young. But even though they were swept, I was calling a couple of those games, they were very, very competitive versus the Cavs and gave them some problems. So I think Stan has this team going in the right direction. You have Reggie Jackson, you have Drummond, and now they're filling all the pieces in between. And I love KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I think he's one of those guys that's a staple with that group.
Well, and Andre, a guy that we've seen consistent improvement. How important do you think it is for them to have locked down a center, especially in a league that now is driven by small ball?
It is, and I think small ball, obviously, whatever style you want to play, but if you can win, and I said it best, you know, if OKC beats Golden State in some kind of winning championship, we're talking about teams playing big again. So you always need guys that can rebound, you always need guys that can defend, and then the bonus is he'll be able to score the basketball at that position as well.
You can take a look at the franchise breakdown of the Pistons now. We did mention that sweep by the Cavs in the first round, but it was their first playoff appearance since 2009. Do you think that a guy like Andre Drummond, who was their first All-Star since 2009 as well, could be potentially a piece that, I mean, your only job in the Eastern Conference right now is to try and beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do you think that that's what could maybe do it?
I think so. I mean, not immediately. I don't know about next year, but if you start to look at the Cavs roster, Tristan Thompson looks like he'll be playing a lot of center without Mozgov coming in unless they can acquire somebody. He was a problem with Mozgov and Tristan Thompson in that series. So younger Drummond getting better. You have to find a way to keep him off the glass because he could just control the game with just rebound and block shots. But his offense is getting better. And I just love the way they're playing. And you said it best, Kristen. Small ball, now everybody's talking about a stretch four. Any stretch four would love to play against Drummond because all the attention would be with him, and Reggie Jackson gives a guy who can shoot the three like a Ryan Anderson. If he was to play with the Detroit Pistons, gives him a lot of room to shoot threes.
Well, and a lot of noise being made in the Eastern Conference in these first 8 hours of free agency, potentially because are we the only ones awake? Is that what's happening just here right now? Because the Hornets and Nick Batum have also agreed on his return, a 5-year deal reportedly worth $120 million. And Smitty, you said it before we came on air, a big win for MJ.
A fantastic win for this organization. Him to be able to keep Nicholas Batum, this core they have, this is a team right now, and I love the way Nicholas played last year. And it's a great fit with Kemba. Kemba's a scoring point guard. Obviously he can dish, but you have Nicholas Batum. At times now, he can come out and be your leading scorer, your leading rebounder, or he can be the guy to facilitate and defend. I think this was a fantastic get, and to be able to retain Nicholas Batum.
This was already now a playoff team, having lost to the Heat 4-3, pushed them to 7 games in that first round, and a lot of people thought it could have gone either way there in that game 7. Do you think, though, that locking him in now to right there in the $120 million range for these next 5 years is going to be what could potentially put them over the hump in the Eastern Conference?
You know, I don't. The hump is, like you said, everybody's still trying to beat the Cavs, but they're getting closer. And I think you look at the makeup of this Team the Hornets, they have the point guard, and obviously if they can contain Al Jefferson, they still have a plethora of bigs. Next step for them is finding that two guard that can shoot the basketball and give them some relief. They picked up Bellinelli. They have Jeremy Lamb. They have a lot of guys. And then also have Michael Kidd-Gilchrist coming back. So you can play him at the power forward position and play a little small ball with him and Nicholas Batum. Next step for them is just developing those young bigs and then coming out some kind of way and getting another free agent that can just flat out shoot the basketball.
Also having agreed to a 4-year contract now worth approximately $64 million, the NBA champion, Timofey Mozgov, and let's head out west. The LA Lakers. Now, all of these deals are simply agreed upon. They are able to sign starting July 7th. But how big a get was this for the Lakers? Because a lot of talk surrounding the franchise and potential big free agents, but this was the call they made at 12:01.
You know, this call to me has Luke Walton written all over it. I got a chance to play against the Cavs the season before, and we beat them in the finals. He was their second best player. And we know Kyrie Irving, Kristen, and Kevin Love was hurt, but he came out and gave LeBron James about 14 points and about 8 rebounds. Didn't play a lot this year, but Luke Walton knows what Timofey Mozgov can do. And I think this is a huge upgrade. I love Roy Hibbert. His day is kind of past. Mozgov is a big that can catch, create space. And then people will say, why would they get a guy who didn't even play for the Cavs? It's different systems and different styles. He will fit right now for when you're trying to build this young team up. You have an anchor right down there that can help those younger guys.
The Lakers also have Jordan Clarkson agreeing to a $50 million deal over the next 4 years and his return as well to that franchise. When you look now at this, I mean, this is one of the greatest franchises of all time, not even able to get meetings with some of the top free agents. So is this the way that they're going to have to build, signing guys like Jordan Clarkson, developing them, and then hoping that they'll stick around for a while?
Kristen, me, you, and everybody in the NBA world have to forget that the Lakers are across their chest. They're not the Lakers of old. They don't have the cachet right now just to acquire anybody. And no Kobe Bryant right now. So you're going to have to build within through drafts and picks like Mozgov and Jordan Clarkson and develop within, because they're going to have a hard time. They're not even able to get meetings with guys. So Luke Walton, Ryan Shaw, those guys are going to have to find a way to develop and have guys like Clarkson and Mozgov build this franchise for right now.
Well, coming up next, we're going to talk about the most coveted free agent of the Summer 16. He's continuing his meetings, the Warriors and Clippers, followed by a slate of them this weekend. We'll talk his full schedule and contenders for KD when we come back.